I'd like to express my gratitude for you all to coming to the AGM this year. You're here, I know, because you truly believe in the contribution organisations like yours can make to our wider society. You represent the pinnacle of business engagement with our communities. At this meeting 12 months ago, I suspect we all had an uneasy sense of what could lie ahead for our country and, of course, across the world. But I'm not sure we would have predicted the range and extent of events. The incredible scenes on our streets last summer, natural disasters, the tightrope balancing act between recovery and a double dip, the volatility of the euro, the increasing impact of public sector cuts, and the growing unemployment and hardship faced by so many in our communities, where 1 in 5 of our young people over 16 are now unemployed or not in training or education. We all feel the impact. So I particularly thank you for your continued support for business in the community. There's never been a more important time for business to play its part in our society, and I am really heartened that the support has remained solid and has in fact grown. And I'd like to acknowledge all of our new members here today whose names are on the screens. I truly believe that it's not a coincidence that this organisation is strong. Responsible leadership recognises that actively focusing on some of the key issues facing our society can build long-term social value and through that enhance business. But whatever sector we work in, all of us in the room who believe in market capitalism must recognise the extent to which public concern about and distrust of big business has built. The focus on executive pay in the last couple of weeks and the protests on the steps of St. Paul, with similar activity going on in 80 countries around the world, are a vivid illustration. We should not dismiss the process and the rumblings. Rather, they should stiffen our resolve. A year into my term as chairman, I'm more convinced than ever that the extraordinary network business in the community represents is of huge importance. Together we can and must ensure that we really do bring about positive change that will ultimately create a fairer and more sustainable society. This time last year, I set out my ambitions for the next 3 years, and I'd like to give you a quick progress report on these. My first ambition was for a simpler, more focused business in the community. I said that my aim was to build on the rich heritage created by the invaluable leadership given to us by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales and the many business leaders who've done so much remarkable work under the BITC banner. Stephen and his team have been working to ensure that BITC is simpler, more focused and fit for purpose, able to drive change over the next decade and to be the hub through which corporate and community partnerships can be developed. We have reviewed our messaging, our brand, and our structure to define a new way of presenting BITC. This will make it much simpler to understand and easier to engage with. We will punch home the huge value that can be gained from membership of this unique movement committed to responsible business. And I would particularly single out Gail Greengross as Communications Director for driving the programme, Sholto Lindsley-Smith for his early work, Scylla Snowball, who's been a great board member and a great contributor to business in the community for her ongoing support of our communications, and lastly, Chris Satterthwaite, who joined us recently. For me, it's simple. Business in the community is about transforming business and transforming communities. It is a bold and interconnected proposition that creates mutual benefits. Our member companies help transform communities by tackling key social issues, and in doing so, are transformed themselves. Business in the community essentially does 2 things. It offers a range of products and services to our members to help them transform their business and engage with local communities, and asks members to work together to tackle key social issues through 6 focused campaign areas looking at these areas, each with a clear goal which will report back to the board. And the 6 areas are marketplace behaviours, environmental sustainability, workplace and employees, education and young people, employment, enterprise and culture. Well, my warmest thanks go to all the individuals and teams who are carrying this work forward so impressively, and I know they would like me to say how much they would welcome anyone here who would like to sign up to join any of them and their campaigns. Underpinning all of these areas, and to my mind, the single most important measure of success we need to demonstrate is our ability to scale up what works and have even greater impact. And this is achieved through our regional teams, our national campaign teams, and increasingly internationally through our global partner network operating in over 60 countries. I'd like to thank Francesco for all that he's done to drive that forward, and with him Mike Waring, who's co-chair of our international group, who again is stepping down from the board after many years of outstanding service, and we thank you, Mike, for all that you've done. All that has happened this year has reinforced my belief that the priorities for business in the community must be built on programs that already work and deliver. My second objective as chairman was to focus on the young unemployed, and the future of our young people has moved to the top of the agenda, particularly for those not in education, employment or training, and for those more suited to vocational careers. The figures are shocking, and we cannot allow young people to be let down and denied the opportunity to fulfill their potential. None of us wants a lost generation. We must change the way we think about employment and ensure that we're doing all we can to keep people connected to the world of work. Inextricably linked to this must be a renewed commitment to support our schools and work in the most effective way we can to meet their needs. We have a proven model of engagement with schools in business class, so ably led by Paul Dreschler, and we need more companies to get engaged. I'd also like to mention the work Ken McGeeking has been doing on leading breakfast clubs, a down-to-earth but incredibly effective way of helping children to be able to get the most out of their school day. Lastly, I talked about the need to collaborate more and to be more coordinated. That's why I'm so pleased to see the Business Connector Network, under the leadership of Gwyn Burr from Sainsbury's, start to take shape. I believe this is a powerful route to achieving significant local scale for our proven programs. We can already see the impact business connectors are having in the communities in which they've been seconded. They play a massive role in matching resource to local needs, encouraging volunteering and mentoring. And they're enabling us to forge critical partnerships, particularly with the other Prince's charities. I'd like to thank the companies who have seconded employees as connectors and also encourage even more companies to participate. In mentioning the Prince's other charities, I was also pleased to hear that the Prince's Countryside Fund will be helping nearly 450 young people through apprenticeships and training as a result of grants given to the fund. Tor Harris and her team are doing an incredible job identifying projects where financial support will make a real contribution to building a sustainable future for our rural economies. This, together with the work that we're doing with the Prince's Trust on opportunities for young people, yet again demonstrate to me the extraordinary vision of His Royal Highness. His charities reach out to so many aspects of our society where inspiration and support is needed and where a difference can be made. On the eve of the 30th anniversary of business in the community, I want to build on our heritage, to start a new period of change. I want BITC to challenge and to inspire us, to achieve greater things and make a bigger difference, and above all, I want more companies to join. I'm excited about the new opportunities, building on the 6 campaign focus areas and ensuring that we all contribute to these goals. Building the movement of business connectors across the country, working with the Prince's Trust to collaborate on supporting young people, taking the opportunity of the 2012 Olympics to build a legacy of new jobs through support for social enterprise in our ARC programme, and the merger with arts and business, enabling us to consider the cultural dimensions of community regeneration and the role the arts plays in transforming communities. One other aspiration I have is for business in the community to communicate even more effectively with the public. It is imperative that we inform people about the work that's going on and the wonderful results that have been achieved. We are living in a time when trust in our major institutions has declined dramatically. So it's even more important that people know that there are businesses that care and are actually doing things to make society better without depleting resources even further. I hope we can work together over the next year to look at ways that we can tell the story and that BITC becomes the vehicle through which we can do it. The Prince's Seeing is Believing programme remains one of the most powerful ways this organisation tells those stories, and we'll use it over the next year to bring the transforming business, transforming communities proposition to life. And I'd like to thank Chris Hyam for his leadership of the Seeing is Believing programme. In conclusion, I believe that business remains a force for good. But with the real changes that we're facing in our country, and indeed the world, there's never been a more critical time for collaboration and to scale up what works. We know profits need to be generated responsibly. This means businesses accepting greater responsibility for their environmental and social impacts. And business needs to be the engine of change and renewal. It must be about partnership, collaboration, and impact. If it is, it will be about mutual benefit. I want to be able to look back at the 30th anniversary of business in the community and be confident that this was a year in which we stepped up to the mark. One team, united and coordinated, to help create a more sustainable future. I'm extremely grateful to my board for their leadership and the help that they've given me over this first year, and to all of the regional, international and campaign leadership team members for their support. And finally, I'd like to thank Stephen Howard and his quite remarkable staff team at Business in the Community for what they've achieved in the most difficult of circumstances over what's been an amazing year for BITC. Thank you.